It's some amazing options, haven't they? Liverpool have got in their forward line, particularly after this summer transfer window. But how does Arne Slot fit them all in? That is an intimidating potential front line, isn't it? Alexander Isak has been training with his new teammates after playing his first minutes of the season for Sweden in midweek. Given he's not match sharp yet, you might suspect that he could start the game against Burnley on Sunday from the bench. But once Isak is fully fit, who plays where? And crucially when? Hugo Ekitike has started the season in fine form left-hand side, but since February last year, he's only played 20 minutes as a traditional left winger. He mostly either played as a lone central striker or, as you can see here, as part of a front two. And actually, he's only started as a traditional winger 4 times in his whole career. That was while he was playing for RAS and also while he was on loan in the Danish Super League in the early part of his career in 2021. If Ekitike is pushed out wide for Isak to play through the middle, then Cody Gakpo would be the fall guy. He has started every game on the left and has been excellent, recording more shots, more assists, more chances created than any of his Liverpool teammates. Now, obviously, there could be some in-game rotation to the forward line from Arne Slot, but when everyone is fit, it's a big selection dilemma. So, Asmir, who plays where?
It's a great question. I think, for Arne Slot, it's great to have these options. So you can't feel too bad for him to have to make these decisions. I do think that, eventually as Isak gets up to speed and gets his fitness back, I think he's going to have to play. He's arguably been the best striker in the Premier League over the last couple of years with Haaland. So I think from that point of view, he's got to play. Now, and I still think he's going to have to play through the middle. And I think it's going to be down to Ekitike or Gakpo to play on the left. And, I think Wirtz is settled in at number 10. Salah is the one that doesn't move ever, so I think it'll be more on that left-hand side where a bit of change, some changes can be made.
Looking at that lineup there, who do you not want to see running towards you?
Well, all of them, yeah. You know what? It's tough. Like that's what Liverpool have created, a bit of a super team here, especially with the attacking options. But I rate Isak highly. What he's done at Newcastle and the goals he's scored, how ruthless he is in front of goal. I think he's going to be their centre forward going forward. Long term, I think, as the season goes on. But, there's going to be so many games. They've got Champions League as well. Their ambitions are to win every trophy. So all of these guys are going to get plenty of games.
And I'm interested as well in the story around the Liverpool front three, because everyone's just kind of saying, well, Ekitike will play on the left. Now, when he starts up front, as I was kind of saying, he naturally kind of comes deep or drifts out to the left. But when you're starting in that position, is that a totally different mind shift? Is that basically a new position? And given the fact that he's not really played there or started there in his career, is that difficult, or is it quite easy for players to go, okay, well, I'm just going to start in a new position?
It's definitely difficult. It's not as easy as we make it out to be, or as I'm sitting here saying that. So I think it would be a challenge, but then you've got to look at the other side. As much as we think, well, Ekitike, they spent a lot of money on him, he's going to have to play, he's still very young. So maybe Isak will become the number 9 and Ekitike maybe comes off the bench, because Gakpo, the way he's been playing over the last couple of years, I think it's been, he's been one of their best players. So he might have to stay in just because he's playing so well. There's a lot of defensive work, and I think that's where that left winger, because Mohamed Salah is your match winner on the other side. I think you want to give him a lot of license and freedom to stay up there, maybe not have to do as much of the defensive work. So that left winger is going to have to go back and forth and help out a little bit on the defensive side. So Gakpo does a brilliant job. A lot of work, maybe that goes unnoticed to the naked eye. So they've got plenty of options. I think, again, as we talk here, it's first world problems, isn't it? I think, to have a squad like this really gives them a chance to fire at all 4 trophies and go for it.
Liverpool, following his British record move from Newcastle in Isak's place, they have Yoann Wissa and Nick Woltemade, who could lead the line for Newcastle against Wolves on Saturday afternoon. Now, Woltemade has already been training with his new teammates following that £69 million move from Stuttgart. He's also had pretty much the full week with his club as well. He played last Sunday for Germany against Northern Ireland. Yoann Wissa has a slightly different build-up to a potential debut. He played last night in Kinshasa and scored for the Democratic Republic of Congo against Senegal. Combine that with the fact he hasn't played a league game this season. Does that mean then that Woltemade is slightly ahead of Wissa? Does Wissa's Premier League experience count for more? Or does Eddie Howe play them both together? Spurs may also field 2 debutants in the Saturday evening kickoff at West End. All eyes will be on who is in goal for both sides, with 2 potential debuts. Italian goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma is in Manchester now and will train this week with an eye on the game at the weekend. He's been criticised by Italian media for mistakes during his national team's 5-4 win over Israel on Monday. Senna Lomans is at the start of his career and won't have played for 4 weeks by the time the game at the Etihad rolls around. Does that mean then that Altay Bayindir is more likely to keep his place? Live on Sky Sports, Xavi Simons and Randal Kolo Muani both confirm right at the end of the window. Simons might be in better shape to play a part, having been involved with the Netherlands during the international break. He played against Poland last Thursday and was an unused substitute for their game in Lithuania on Sunday. Very different situation for Randal Kolo Muani. His last competitive game was in the Club World Cup back in July for Juventus against Real Madrid.
Yeah, well, our first chance to look at a lot of new faces. Of course, the deadline day came and went, then it was the internationals. So a lot of players desperate to get out there and impress their new supporters. Who are you most excited to see, Steve, this weekend of the new faces?
I'd say Xavi Simons. He's been spoke about for a long time, hasn't he? You know, he broke through and at such a young age, and now to see him here in the Premier League, I just want to see if he is the real deal, because I think there's so much more potential for him to unlock as well, and I think the Premier League is going to be the perfect league for him to do that.
Is Spurs a good platform and a good club for him to do that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's the way that they play, on the front foot, high energy. You know, Thomas Frank loves getting players, clever football players with a good footballing IQ on the pitch. Lovely stadium. I mean, it's all geared up for it to be a success.
Randal Kolo Muani is another one as well, isn't he? It was added just before the deadline for Spurs. Sort of similar fit to Xavi Simons. This is a chance for him to really prove himself in the Premier League level.
Yeah. I think that's what you want. You want to pick a club where you can, you know, showcase your best ability. And you know, sometimes it just doesn't happen at certain clubs, and you need a break. And that's what these guys here need.
And just a question about Newcastle. Obviously, they moved on from Isak. Voltemada, big boots to fill. I mean, he's a big lad.
He's a big guy.
Big boots to fill. I mean, how heavily do you think expectation will weigh on him, given who he's replacing?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to replace Isak with a number of goals that he scored in big games as well. Big game player. But I think he's going to go. He seems really relaxed, doesn't he, Voltemada? He seems like he's taking it into his stride. I think it's going to be hard for him to hit the heights straight away. I think it might take time to settle in, but at the moment, the environment and the culture that Eddie Howe's creating there, especially at St James's Park, is huge. Once he gets on that score sheet, I mean, them Geordies are going to absolutely love him.
And does it help having Wissa there as well, sort of another new face in that attack, maybe just to take a bit of the pressure off him? Yeah,
I mean, I always loved it when attacking players come sort of towards the end of that transfer window. It was another one you felt like, you know, when the more you got coming through the door, you just sort of like, this is going to be our season. You know, we can do some damage with these players. So it's a massive lift for the dressing room.
Very interesting to see how Newcastle progress with all these new signings. Thank you for now, Steve.